Hello, parents and guardians. This is Mr. Longo. I wanted to take a minute to send out a video to explain how we do things in my class second semester. This is a refresher for some that had me first semester, and if your student is new to me second semester, this will give you a little idea of how things go, and also to share some feedback from my students from first semester. So, things we have to remember. In my classroom, students get to decide if they want to work in teams or as individuals. Teams are highly encouraged because there are team components to quizzes from time to time. Students that would like to work as an individual, I will have to assess how they are prepared to work by themselves and make sure that that is a good fit for them. But students really get to decide. They even get to decide who they are working with. They get to decide what they want to do in class. They can choose to take notes. They can choose to work on the homework packet. If they are ahead of schedule, they can choose to work on another class. So students are going to have many opportunities to make decisions that work best for them during the semester. Teams will decide when they want to take their own quizzes and tests. So quizzes, again, as I mentioned, may have a team component. Most of the quizzes that happened first semester had two parts. They had an individual part and a team part. However, at times the whole thing is team or the whole thing is individual depending on the material. Tests must be taken individually, but again on a day that the team decides. If students are working individually, they can choose when they take their quizzes, when they take their tests on their own. That is absolutely fine. And students, the major deadline is they must finish all units before the end of the semester. So although they get to choose when they're ready to take quizzes and tests, they do have to understand there is a final deadline that they must finish the entire semester. But that is okay if they finish early. First semester, there was a student that finished 4 weeks ahead of schedule. There are also some students that waited up until the very last day. If students follow my pacing, they should finish with approximately 5 extra days. So that gives them time to finish early and prepare for final exams. It gives them a few extra days to get ready and finish their last test. But pretty much the final deadline is they must finish everything, but they have plenty of time to finish before the end of the semester. So some feedback from students from the first semester surveys. At the end of each semester, I always give surveys to students and give them the opportunity to tell me what's working, what's not, what can be improved. There have been many modifications to this classroom style based on my student feedback. So from first semester, majority of the students have reported that they prefer this student-paced style. That was an overwhelming majority. I'd say over 80% of students say they prefer it to the traditional classroom. Students have reported that they learned how to take responsibility, or, on the flip side, that they need to do a better job of taking responsibility for themselves, which, again, is a very important part of growing up. They learn to be proactive and that procrastinating is not a good idea. Students also said that they felt like they were more successful because of the flexibility of choosing when they're ready to take quizzes and tests, and also the collaboration with other students. They feel less stressed in this class, again, because of choosing when to take quizzes and tests. If students have 2 tests on the same day on top of their math test, they can choose to put it off a day or take it a day early. Many have reported that they feel more prepared for college because they learned how to budget their time. Many students have reported that they have learned to communicate and work more effectively in teams. And last, they have said that they learned how to work through minor distractions. And that's, again, it's part of the environment that we have here. Students don't have to take quizzes on the same day. So there might be a day they're taking a quiz when other groups are working. There will be some light music playing in the background. So they have learned how to work through distractions again, which is a very big bonus to the style of classroom here because that's something that's very important to be able to do. Tips for success, changes students would make. Again, this is from my first semester surveys. Find a group that encourages you to work, not just play. Complete the goal packet and the extra practice. Do not fall behind schedule. Take your notes outside of class so you can spend class time practicing with your group. I have noticed that that is a very big benefit. I would have to say that students that follow that tip tend to spend more time in class working on the practice. The notes, you just follow along with the video, so you really don't need any assistance doing that. So that's easier to do at home, and then you spend time in class doing the practice problems, and that has really worked out for many that choose to follow that idea. Get a few days ahead of schedule is what many students will say, and last but not least, do not slack off. There are many students that have reported that they would have done better first semester if they would have just spent more class time doing work and more time taking notes and, well, obviously not slacking off. Just a reminder of the lifelines and extra credit opportunities we have in my class. So there is a thing that's called quiz replacements. When the students decide to take a test, they turn in what is known as their goal packet. It is basically a big review broken down into sections, and if students understand the goal packet, they should do wonderful on the test. So if a student turns in a goal packet of a 10 out of 10, and they take a test, and their test is a 70% or above, I will replace any lower quizzes with that test grade. Now, the thought behind that is if a student isn't ready to take a quiz or thought they were ready and didn't understand as much as they thought, and they don't do well, they get a D or an F, or even a C. But then the students take the time to go back and learn that material and prove to me on the day of the test that they have went back, they've mastered the content, and they improve. Why should their grade represent what they didn't know when they took a quiz if they took the time to go back and learn it and then improve? So anything C or above, I would say, is a decent grade on a test. So that's why if they improve, I will replace that quiz grade because they went back and they learned it. I will offer one test retake at the end of the semester. We wait till the end because, number one, it's getting you ready for finals, and number two, if we let them retake the first one, what if their second one is worse? So I want to wait till the end so they can figure out which one is going to have the biggest impact in their grade if they retake it and do well. And finally, the extra credit presentation for second semester is I want students to go out and I want them to be fearless. I want them to try something new. I want them to set a goal for themselves and try to accomplish it. And those are their two choices. Try something new that you've always wanted to, but for some reason you haven't. Or if there's something that you have in mind and you have a goal that would improve you, do that and talk about what you did to try to accomplish it. And then they just present this idea at the end of the semester, and they usually just use Google Slides or a PowerPoint, show some pictures or video clips of them trying to tackle whatever they have decided. Now again, that project is optional, but it has been very rewarding in the past. It's actually led to a career for one of my former students. So it's something that's just a lot of fun, and again, I want my students to be not afraid to just go out there, try new things, set goals for themselves. If they fail, that's fine as long as they're working to try to get towards it. It's all a part about just growing up. So I just wanted to, again, remind you of what goes on in my classroom. If your student is new to my class, now you have an idea. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, and we'll catch you up. All right. Thank you very much for your time. This is Longo, and I'm out. See you. Bye.